In Malawi, a landlocked country in southern Africa, is a mountain by the name Malunje. Mount Malunje is a hiker's paradise, enchanting and challenging in equal measure. The rocky peaks, high grasslands, deep gorges, and powerful river transport the visitor into another world. One of the peaks, Chambe Peak, offers the longest rock climb in Africa, a staggering 1,700 meters of sheer cliff on its western side. The mountain is also a huge, isolated massif with 20 peaks of more than 2,500 meters, rising out of a disjointed plateau. The peaks are steep and rocky, and range in difficulty from moderate hikes to technical scrambles. There are 10 huts on the mountain that provide shelter for all hikers at different altitudes. It is on this mountain that on Saturday, 13 September 2003, a young Dutch woman was last seen trying to reach the highest point of the mountain, Sapitwa Peak, the highest of all Mount Malunje's peaks, standing at 3,002 meters. Linda Prong, a 22-year-old Dutch citizen serving as a development worker with the voluntary service overseas, had a job working in the laboratory of the CCAP at Malunje Mission Hospital. On Friday, 12 September 2003, a group of more than 7 people, including Linda, set off to climb the mountain. On this particular day, while they were still at Chisepo Hut, which is 2,219 meters above sea level and only 783 meters from Sapitwa Peak, Linda expressed an interest to climb the peak and was advised by the rest of the group not to attempt it on her own. Note: hiking alone is highly discouraged. Sometime the next day, which is Saturday, 13 September 2003, it was discovered that Linda was not in the vicinity of the camp, and apparently she had started the summit, which is 3,002 meters above sea level, or 9,850 feet. She was last seen sitting on a rock on the campsite. She had offered to pay a mountain guide, but he refused. She had no map, compass, or GPS. Note: Linda was no stranger to Malunje. She worked at the CCAP Mission Hospital, 12 kilometers from Malunje Mountain, and had enjoyed climbing the mountain many times. The alarm was raised early on Sunday morning when she did not pitch, and a message was sent down speedingly to Likubula Forest Officer. The request for assistance was communicated to Malunje Mountain Conservation Trust and Malunje Mission Hospital, and soon after, the police were informed. The main achievement that day was the climb that was made in very difficult rains by some porters to reach Chisepo Hut with radio and other basic supplies, so that there was at least communication between the top and the bottom. Police, porters, friends, forestry staff, and colleagues all raced to join the effort, but there was no sign of Linda during the searches made near the Sapitwa path. The stormy, wet, cold weather atop made life even more difficult. A game capture helicopter from Majete Wildlife Reserve joined the search, if only to raise the morale of Linda, should she be stuck somewhere in bad weather. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday the 16th saw very difficult weather conditions with strong cold winds, heavy clouds, and rain prevailing for most of the days. Please note, the mountain is also known for severe weather changes at moment's notice. In his book, Venture into the Interior by Lawrence van der Post, the mountain has many facets. It can veer from serene beauty and calm to serious danger in flash. Comes the mist, the rain, the chipperoni weather, and freezing cold. People can die on the peak. Chipperoni is a Malawian term for a kind of drizzle rain experienced in the sheer highlands of southern Malawi during the cold, dry season. The area above Chisepo towards Sapitwa is very rugged with many steep slopes scattered by boulder-strewn stream valleys. The helicopter flew at least 10 hours of aerial searches over these days, negotiating the difficult winds around the peaks. 7 days later, the search effort was beginning to lose momentum as people had to leave the mountain to attend to their normal commitments. Hope was beginning to be lost. The improved weather over the next 4 days through to Saturday, 20th September, enabled a full search to be launched and coordinated. At full capacity, between 60 and 75 searchers worked the rugged mountain top, carrying out group line searches, often covering priority areas several times. All efforts by army and police bore no fruit. Another effort 10 days later was made by a number of dog sniffer teams who flew out from the Netherlands and gave their time over 5 days. Again, turning up with nothing. So what happened to Linda? However, there are many scientific explanations that could explain her disappearance, including getting lost, falling into a ditch, and being eaten by animals. Much of the massif consists of deep forested ravines. In fact, one of the parts Sapitwa Peak is called the suicide path. It is a relatively steady route up, becoming a steep scramble in a gully only on the uppermost section. It would, however, get desperate during heavy rains when the gully becomes a torrent of water. Temperatures at Sapitwa Peak sometimes fall between 19 degrees Celsius. The other path Linda could have used from Chisepo Hut starts by crossing the Chutila River and rises steadily up the valley, following the line of the river through woodland for 4 kilometers. The path becomes steeper before 2 rivers crossing and then climbing up the valley side between cliffs. The upper portion enters a steep and slippery gully that tops up a fantastic view steady route up. A Brazilian and French passport holder, Gabriel Bochenan, 23, went missing on the mountain on July 2009. He was found dead on 5 August 2009 by locals. His last move is presumably he was taking cover under a large boulder after getting lost on his way to Sapitwa Peak. He was found dead by the boulder 2 weeks after he was first reported missing, with most of his possessions but only 1 glove. Linda could have simply succumbed to elements. The hike involves some hard scrambling and the top section can be treacherously difficult to follow in bad weather. Local people. Local people living around the mountain believe ancestral spirits played a role in the missing of Linda. They say there are spirits in the Malunja Mountain Forest Reserve and can react in case they are not happy with a particular situation. Legend is that a mountain is a dwelling place of ancestral spirits. They don't call it disappearance for nothing. The spirits reside at the peak. In fact, they don't call it disappearance for nothing. It is literally translated as a place where people do not go. And scaling up the peak is regarded as a death wish. There is a strong belief that the spirits control life on the top of the mountain and that they are irritated by whoever tries to climb the peak. All those people who have strangely gone missing were actually kidnapped by the angry spirits. Patrick Power disappeared in 1943 and returned after 2 weeks. Kubalo Moabi disappeared in 1992 and returned after 21 days. Rituals had to be done for their return. They were both Malawian locals who came from the Malunja area. In 1949, Fred Franz was swept away in an attempt to cross the Raovi River. During the search for Linda, preachers and leaders of different religious beliefs and sectors also participated in the search. They used different skills, approaches, and methodologies. Others went through the office of the district commissioner, while others came through village heads and recognized local leaders. They raised the hopes that one of them would succeed in finding Linda, but they failed. Malawi law declares a missing person dead after 7 years. Linda's death certificate must have been issued in 2010.